This Good Morning Northwest Morning Sprint is brought to you by Bill's Heating and Air Conditioning.
All right, it is 6:53. It's time to get you ready for your Monday here in the Morning Sprint.
Caitlin Knapp in for Mark Peterson has a rainy start to our work week in the forecast, and Olivia Roberts has new developments in the race for COVID-19 vaccine.
But first, Destiny Richards with a look at those new COVID restrictions here in Washington.
That's right. Governor Jay Inslee issued these restrictions because of the rise in cases that we're seeing, but they're not expected to be as comprehensive or as tough as the restrictions we saw earlier this year. And it comes 237 days after those initial restrictions at the start of the pandemic. So it's definitely going to be deja vu for residents in Washington as a fall surge is forcing these shutdowns. This is just a snapshot of some of those restrictions that are in place. For a full picture of the restrictions we're expecting this week, see our story now on KXLY.com.
Breaking news in the race for a COVID-19 vaccine. Moderna says its coronavirus vaccine is nearly 95% effective. The company released its early clinical trial data about a couple hours ago. It's the second vaccine in the United States to have a high success rate and could be available to everyone else by spring. The news comes as several major cities make similar decisions as Washington, putting new restrictions on schools and businesses as the pandemic takes a dangerous turn. More than 1 million new coronavirus cases have been reported in just the last week. And across the country during that time, the number of people hospitalized with COVID-19 has increased by 24%.
Infections and deaths surge across Idaho, and that has spurred Governor Brad Little to mobilize the Idaho National Guard and restrict group sizes to 10 or fewer to fight the coronavirus. On Friday, the Republican governor said healthcare facilities are within weeks of having to ration care because so many workers are out sick with COVID-19. The restrictions are a return to stage 2 of his reopening plan. In the latest version, bars, nightclubs, and restaurants can stay open, but customers must be seated.
As coronavirus infections soar ahead of what's normally the busiest travel period of the year, there are travel advisories in Washington, Oregon, and California. The governors of the 3 states are urging people to avoid out-of-state travel. And if they leave the region, they're asking them to quarantine for 14 days once they return. State officials are also asking people to rethink their holiday plans. All right, coming up next on Good Morning America, as COVID-19 cases hit record new highs across the country, some cities are now facing a testing supply shortage. And now there are growing concerns about the accuracy of testing following reports of conflicting results.
And as you're sprinting out the door, you're going to be hit with some rain at about 8 o'clock. We're going to have all these showers heading into our area at that time at 8 o'clock, and then they'll be rolling out at about 4 or 5. So it's going to be a soggy day through most of the day. Temperatures are going to be in the high 40s. Overnight lows are going to be in the mid 30s tomorrow. Expect some cloudy skies, but also some warmer temperatures.
All right, this morning, President Trump is abandoning a big part of his legal challenge in Pennsylvania. His campaign is dropping a claim that accuses officials of unlawfully blocking observers from watching ballot counting in Philadelphia and Pittsburgh. The setback comes as the president appeared to acknowledge Biden's victory in a tweet yesterday, then walked it back, tweeting, "I concede nothing."
And Twitter flagging a couple more tweets from President Trump as false or misleading. This one coming Sunday when the president doubled down on his belief that he can win the election, saying of President-elect Joe Biden, he won because the election was rigged. National, state, and private election officials are contradicting Trump's conspiracy theories about voter fraud.
Looking ahead today, good news for skiers. Lookout passes open with 2 lifts running from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. as of last night. Lookout passes snow report shows about 18 inches of snow on the mountain. Mountain staff asks that you mask up and practice good social distancing during your visit.
The East Valley School District is going back to full-time distance learning starting today, and this will go on for about 2 weeks. This is in response to a significant number of students who tested positive for COVID-19 or are close contacts to those who have. District officials say 6 students and 7 staff members have contracted the virus. 27 staff members and 51 students are now quarantining at home.
Yeah, this comes on the first day that Central Valley 3rd graders all returned to in-person classes together. They were welcomed back on a staggered schedule last Thursday and Friday. Masks will be required for students there. Post Falls is in the moderate risk category, so students will return to in-person classes 4 days a week with mask wearing only a recommendation.
And in Moses Lake, middle schools are making a temporary move to remote learning today. The district says COVID-19 cases have impacted staffing at the middle school level.
All right, we'll take a final check of weather with Caitlin Knapp right after this. Don't go away.